Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Give me just a moment. There we go. I love technology. Anyway, welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. Exciting day. We're finishing up VIII. We're at the finale. We're going to go into overtime today if we have to. But before we get to there, I hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope maybe you got some snow where you are to enjoy the holidays. Still no snow that's sticking here in New York, sadly, but I did go see The Boy and the Heron. It's a great movie. I highly recommend checking it out. Dear Yeez, why are you so loud? So why don't we do a little recap of the story since this is the finale? So we started on a sailing ship, just going from point A to point B with our friend Dogi, and a giant squid attacked. And it destroyed the ship, and everyone washed ashore on the Isle of Siren, which is a cursed island that no one ever returns from. And we started finding dinosaurs. So we started finding other castaways, building up a little village, protecting ourselves from the dinosaurs. And then we started having visions of the past. Adol, the guy with the red hair here, started having visions of a woman named Donna several thousand years in the past, and her civilization that lived with the dinosaurs. Turns out her civilization was doomed because the tree they worshipped is in fact an evil tree and will wipe out all life and start over. And this is the process known as evolution, apparently. But every time it does that, it picks one person to become immortal and become a warden of evolution and watch over what's going on. Donna was the fifth person to have that happen, and now Adol is the sixth. So he has a tattoo on his arm that he didn't ask for. Our solution is to power a second magic tree that needs the psyches of all the past species that have been destroyed. So we're inside the evil tree right now, freeing those psyches so that we can stop the end of the world from happening and stop evolution. This game is weird and I love it. Ow, 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 ow. This is just unfair. I'm paralyzed. I'll let you guys handle that. I'm just gonna walk this off. So how's everyone doing today? Everyone have a good weekend? And now everything's bluish. This might still be a little loud. There we go. No, I'm not alright. I got frozen. Now I'm stun locked in a corner. This thing is cheating. There we go. And I think because this is a dungeon, or I think it counts as a dungeon, that we don't, yep, we do not automatically heal. No, that's quite alright. You can stay down there. No, no, no. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll have a meal. You meat-wrapped mushrooms. I cannot stand mushrooms, which is a shame because in theory I really like them. Oh, it's just a little guy. Dean of Frog. Is this the, like, Dean of the College of Frogs? Yay! We beat the frog. Oh, so I was looking... So Twitch, like almost every other internet service these days, does a year in review for you on your stats. And as streamer, it was really interesting to look at my stats, actually. But what was interesting is the amount of channel points spent. Y'all have spent almost 200,000 channel points. Most of that is for father jokes, which are 2,000 points each, so that's almost, I guess, 100 father jokes. So do with that what you will. I want to boop the snoot. Time Tyrant. It's actually a pretty cool name, Chrono Tyrant. Although it is I guess it's mixing Greek and Latin. Because Chronos is Greek and Tyrannus is Latin. Take me to the crystal. Where am I going? I guess I'm going back up. No, I'm going this way. Okay. It's a little confusing. The minimap doesn't do a great job of delineating height. I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to unleash the anime, but I guess we're here now. We are, hey Setsuro, good to see you. We are up to the end of VIII, so we're currently inside the evil tree to free the soul. Well, not the souls, the psyches. There's a difference beside the fact that psyche means soul in Greek. But anyway, so that we can feed the other tree so we can stop the first tree from causing the end of the world and doing an evolution. But we have to defeat its many guardians first. Good job, Sahad. Aha! Crystal. I'm just gonna run past you to get to the crystal.
What is this place?
A land of ice and snow. Is this the
Yes,
ice
today
age?
is going to be the finale of VIII, even if it does run long. Keep an eye on the time, because I might take a break at some point. But I think we should be fine. Because we have this area, and then the other two, and then the regular boss, and then the wrap-up, and then the post-scenes, and then the real boss. Ah, we're in the area of the Minotaur. Sorry, I need your psyches. Finally, Yates finishing. Bit of a stretch, but I'll accept it. It's good to see you, Gale. I mean, it's only took so much time has elapsed that I started this game in January of last year, or January or February. But to be fair, I also had a 5-month break in the middle of that. No. It actually almost seems more efficient just to knock the collectible items off the edge, because then I automatically collect them. In case we decide we need to make more potions on our way off the island. Bad Giganos. You knocked me off the edge. Ow. Ow! Rude. Trying to remember if there's a save crystal before the boss. So that'd be convenient to heal. Or we could just have that all fall off the edge. Then I'm gonna do this. Stick a ripe coconut in his mouth, and we'll have some luxurious coleslaw. I got stun locked and pushed off the edge. Not okay. Bye, Loxia.
Leave it to me.
Why can I fall off the edge, but the enemies can't? This is not fair. Case in point. What? I know it's ice caves, but they can't be that slippery. Home field advantage, you assume? I guess.
Item.
Help, I'm frozen in an incredibly anime pose. Do any of you want to fight the giant monster that was approaching us? No? Okay, cool. Everyone loves ice levels. Except this isn't even an ice level, it's just ice. Visually, like, it doesn't even have ice physics. Okay, there's no save crystal. We'll be fine. Besides, there's no pitfall in the middle of this time, unlike the last one. The second crystal. It looks just like the first one. Why would it look any different, Hummel? They're magic crystals. Pretty sure the tree isn't going to aesthetically design them to be different. Psyche Minos, Bellow of the Tundra King. I bet he hits like a truck. Same as before. So this is Minos' Psyche, right? Because it definitely looks tough like him. Yes, but this is no time for hesitation. Let's have a good, clean fight. I don't think the Psyche is going to care about how clean the fight is. Oh hey, it actually automatically healed me up to full just before the fight. Like there was a crystal. That's convenient. That's good to know for the next ones. Mrrr. Fortunately, he telegraphs his attacks even more than a normal Ys boss. he has a ton of health. Oh my goodness. Ow.
No, I can keep going.
Ow. Ow. Also, falling off the cliff does like 400 damage. Rotata. Turns out doing Rotata and the boss fight, not the easiest thing on the brain space. So the gospel is the crippled man being lowered in from the roof. And there was a line that caught my attention this morning when I read it. I had the morning mass at the house, so I didn't have a homily because we don't preach in the house. But I guess it was the way it was all the high-ranking people in the culture were there, the scribes, the Pharisees, and from all over. I don't know. I just found it interesting that, yes, they deserve to hear the gospel as well, but they were kind of keeping others from hearing it as well by using their privilege. But did we do it? Look, the psyches are being released. It's a classic tale, though, of the power of faith, and also the desire that the reality is that to be healed in faith, you first have to seek that relationship, and God will be there and is reaching out to us and is inviting us in all the time, but also we need to take action, we need to respond. And it was already in that moment that his friends were doing that the healing was already beginning. Yes, it seems to have worked. Excellent. I hope we can keep this up. Wahahaha.
Huh? The real one showed up. I never thought anyone would prove capable of releasing the psyches from this crystal. I found you creatures amusing at first, but you are much more remarkable than I had imagined. It seems a proper introduction is in order. My name is Minos. In a bygone era of ice and snow, my people conquered this land, and I ruled over them as king. You have defeated my psyche. As such, I will concede defeat.
You're a warden, aren't you? Shouldn't you put up more of a fight?
I've done more than enough to fulfill my duty as a warden of evolution. Truth be told, I'm relieved that you have released my people's psyches. So long as they remained in that crystal, I'm certain they could not rest in peace.
And suddenly it's not voice acted anymore. I didn't expect a word to be so compassionate. Perhaps this is the effect of my psyche having been released by you all. I have not felt this mirthful in ages, but know this at all. Though you have accomplished much, defying the Lacrimosa is a fool's errand. Can't stop now. Can't stop, won't stop. I knew you would say that. Donna. Yes? I'm I think I'm beginning to understand why you have allied with Adol. His stubborn spirit complements your own. Thank you. The paths ahead are nothing like the ones you faced so far. I cannot help you, but I can at least pray for you. And when you finally know defeat, we can drink and watch the world unfold together. That doesn't sound so bad, I guess. Got a consolation prize. Are you humoring me? The look on your face says otherwise. Now then, you had best be off. Your time is dwindling. Stay the course until the very end. Yeah, they'd only budgeted so many words, I guess. And I suppose he does come from a land of ice and snow where the midnight sun and the hot springs blow. But I'm not going to sing that out loud because, A, I don't want a copyright strike, and B, I'm not that great of a singer. So anyway. Yeah, second sigil. Later, nerds. I have another crystal to go find. My princess is in another crystal. And my princess is being able to live. It is a little sad that the monsters in this area are just recolors. And it's just like, one is lightning, one is ice, one is poison. It's like, really? That's the best that you can come up with? Knock, knock. Otterbox. Isn't that the phone cover company? Otterbox? Maybe if they were based in Boston. Sit back down, good sir. I'm gonna just start ignoring most of these enemies, I think. Oh look, it's a Hayao Miyazaki style bug. Like, this looks like it came straight out of Princess Mononoke. Or not Mononoke, Nausicaa. Getting my names mixed up. Oh, this one only had 2 bosses before we got to the crystal. Even the game's like, yeah, okay, we're dragging on. Time to move on. Path of the Insectoid Era.
It smells like trees.
This area looks
We should be careful, Adol.
Ah, why are they so big? Who let this exist? Now I've got another reason to defeat this tree and let this happen.
Leave it to me. Let's go.
Ooh, a treasure chest.
Tejrar. Ah, pumpkin seeds. Just in time. We'll take those to the farm as we're leaving. And a bookmark for someone, because... why not? Why don't we need more gifts at this point? Crystal, I'm on a mission. The third crystal. Everyone be careful. What, it's not like a giant bug's gonna come out of it. Oh no, a giant bug came out of it. Wait a minute, that's just a Pokemon. Dispassion of Queen of Multitudes, Psyche Nestor. No, Tyranids. This is Nestor Psyche. Weapons up, everyone. Pokemon are just giant bugs. I mean, bug-type Pokemon are, but I refuse to believe that, Blastoise is just a giant bug. Turns out the bug is way squishier than the Minotaur. And has way less health. Oh, that's a problem. I didn't... The one thing I don't like about aerial combos is you can't control if you're doing an upswing or a downswing. Eevee is not a bug. That's correct. And in fact, Eevee has no bug evolution. It has a shell. That's not... M&Ms have a shell. They're not bugs. Eggs have a shell. They're not bugs. What you're engaging in, Gale, is false equivocation. It is a logical fallacy. I've been better. Okay, well maybe M&Ms are made from bugs, but that doesn't make them bugs. I mean, shellac is a common coating. Quick, eat all these coconuts. Nestor is cheating. I just want the record to show that. There we go. We won somehow. Man, feels like the guards keep getting stronger and stronger. Really? I just think they get cheatier and cheatier. Let's go, Magic Tree. All right, just one more set of Psyches to unleash. The Tree of Psyches has grown rather large. We should be nearly finished. Really? We've come a long way to get here. One path remains. There I must
To
face.
suffer defeat at the hands of such a rudimentary species, my psyche should be ashamed of itself.
So full of yourself.
I suppose a reintroduction is due. My name is Nestor. At its zenith, my colony numbered over 1 million, and I ruled over them as queen.
Over 1 million?
Through our diversity of form and adaptability, my colony flourished throughout the world. And yet, even our civilization came to accept the Lacrimosa. You humans with your frail bodies and weak minds have no hope of defying it.
Watch us. That doesn't mean we gotta accept it. Yeah, you didn't accept it either. Didn't you resist it for the sake of your people? I can see that I initially felt an impetuous desire for self-preservation, but in the end my calm and rational demeanor won out. Instinctually... Oh, I thought that was Hummel. Instinctually, we understood the necessity of the Lacrimosa and willingly sacrificed ourselves, and thus did I accept my fate as a warden of evolution. Unbelievable. Let me ask a question of you insolent humans. To defy the Lacrimosa is to defy the natural order. Your success would place the world in grave danger. Your actions, no, your very existence poses a threat to the world. What do you hope to accomplish through your futile defiance? No, we'll figure that out as we go along. You're a professional and I respect that. However, I can't say I agree with you. A job is not a mere task that has been assigned to you. It's a duty. A duty should be a reflection of your will, something that you should be passionate about. That's right. Humans don't blindly follow orders. Well, we pave our own way through life. Men of the sea don't shy away from danger, they accept it and coexist with it. Guess I'm trying to say humans never give up till the very end. So be it. You humans are very different from your predecessors, that much is clear to me. Now go on. Huh? I am but one of the wardens. Judgment will be rendered soon. You will learn in due time whether your decision was correct or not. So it looks like Adol is the only person who hasn't actually had like a strong leadership role in society to be chosen as the warden, because like Minos was a king, Blue Fish Guy was a king, she was the queen, Donna was the high priestess. Adol's just some dude. He's got the vim and vigor, that's for sure. Sorry, Marut cloned the 4th. Adol's just some charismatic dude, yeah. Look, Zaphod's just this guy, you know? This Magazel. Gesundheit. Maybe he's secretly a prince and we'll never find out. Fair. Although based on his role in the other, like 10 games in the series, he's secretly the most important person in the world. Just because he always seems to be at the right place at the right time to save the world from absolute danger and destruction. Case in point, he just washed ashore at the time of the Lacrimosa. We're having crab for dinner tonight. I don't know if in lore Adol's ever, been established to be a prince or something. But I don't know enough about the series to say one way or the other. I'll have to look into that. A superhero whose identity has been hidden from himself. Kind of. And hidden through ignorance. Oh, big bat. It's a recolor of one of the first bosses we fought. The Scuba. Sorry, it's get down on the floor, walk the dinosaur, not walk the bat. We're gonna have to cancel your contract. From the Wikipedia, later games feature a variety of plots, but frequently begin with shipwreck, a stranded adult getting involved in the new area's events. Yeah, he's... I think 7 starts with him in a shipwreck. 9 starts with him just being thrown in jail. Oh, hey, this is the starting area. I mean... correlation, causation, his presence doesn't necessarily mean he's the reason. Path of the Sky era.
Wait a minute. Where is this place?
It's pretty is what it is.
Worlds above the clouds. I didn't expect this.
What is this, the Spanish Inquisition land? Nobody expected it? Well, that's because you need to stop right there, you criminal scum. I guess I should use those. 'Cause those are a level, I think. Hermit's Remedy. Oh, just 10,000 experience. You know, with this being like so far above the cloud line and almost into orbit, I keep expecting to see Dr. Robotnik's Doom Egg in the background just coming up over the horizon. No! That's not what I meant to do. Pure orichalcum. I can go make more armor with that if I want to. I think we're fine. Oh, whoops. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at chat. Blindness is a useless debuff. Oh, see, that enemy can fall off the edge. Just to stop the noise. I'm saving most of my potions for the actual, like, boss fights. This is the final crystal, which makes its guardian. Yes, it should be Sarai's psyche. I've been mulling this over a while, but Sarai isn't an Eternian like you, Donna. So how come she looks like one? Huh? Oh, that's a good point. It's probably because she's not an Eternian at all. Let's get some closure all up in here, yo. Sky sealed despair of the dancer Psyche Ura. The purpose of a Mega Elixir is to save it for the secret boss. But it is not for use on this secret boss. Sarai's Psyche. Yeah, no, it'd be silly. It's too good to use, even during the fight with the final boss. Oh, she has 2 health bars. What if there was another secreter, super boss later? Exactly. One must be ready. And I'm pretty sure I do get an opportunity to make potions again, so even if we use some of them, we should be fine. Ura, get back here so I can fight you. Thank you. That's a good disembodied psyche. Why is she a squid? Why isn't she a squid, I guess? Pull up your squid pants. They're sagging. When you get that high instructor, you delegate a boss. Oh, that was just rude. I'm now imagining a boss sort of subletting its boss arena out, and then finding out that the heroes have not filled out hero fighting 10 or boss fighting 10 form B, and are most upset with them for not following the appropriate bureaucracy of boss fights in this jurisdiction. Have they no decency? Yay. The Tree of Psyche should finish growing now. You can skip the boss dialogue by increase the boss's strength by 20%. Ooh, that's a tough choice. Do I sit through the monologue? I think I do at that point. Yeah! Good magic tree is glowing now. Awfully convenient of Hydra, the guy who made that garden, to have 6 spigots for psyches.
The tree of Psyches has grown enough. I can sense a large wave of Psyches coming from the Valley of Kings. We did it, Adol.
You actually managed to release all the Psyches.
Explain yourself, whoever you are. Oh, Sarai. Sarai, explain yourself.
Please, stop. I have no right to be addressed by that name.
Huh? What do you mean?
As I said before, my true name is Ura. My species descended to Earth from the skies above, possessing the power of mimicry.
Mimicry? It's the ability to perfectly copy another creature's shape and features.
With our power of mimicry, we claimed dominion over the land and flourished. But we were eventually greeted by the Lacrimosa, and I was selected to be a warden. When the Eternian era began, I descended to Earth once again, so that I may find a new Warden of Evolution among the Eternians.
Then how'd you become the Princess of Eternia?
To find the person whose soul burns brightest, I thought it best to insert myself among royalty. So I snuck into the palace, where I learned the young princess was deathly ill.
Then...
Yes. After Princess Sarai succumbed to her illness, I used my mimicry to assume her place. I reconstructed her personality and appearance, and made it part of my own. Then
That's
few
creepy.
years later, at the Temple of the Great Tree, I met you, Donna.
Then... the Sarai I've always known was... Donna.
Don't make this more personal than it is. This was all for the great Lacrimosa. I did what I deemed necessary to protect this world.
This story again?
Even if that's true, think about Donna. Her best friend was an imposter. Poor Donna.
Yeah, her best friend was gaslighting her the entire time. That's pretty messed up.
Not necessarily. No. What I did was unforgivable.
If you know that, then... What's happening to me?
Something's wrong.
This won't forgive what I've done, but...
I thought the wardens were immortal?
My control over my mimicry is becoming unstable.
Oh, okay.
The way you spoke just now.
It's been a while, Donna.
Sarai? Huh? What's going on?
I'm confused too, Ricotta.
Don't ask me, Squirt.
I'm Sarai's personality, as reconstructed through Ura's mimicry. To be clear, I'm still not the real Sarai. But I'm the Sarai that you've known ever since we were young.
How is this possible?
Ura is a kind and virtuous person by nature.
And a gaslighter.
She must be suffering from carrying out her duty as a warden. The fact that you released her psyche is no doubt affecting her too.
Aw, she has a conscience.
How is
About
this
time.
possible?
Donna,
Sarai,
I'm sorry to put you through such pain. I'm so sorry I couldn't stay with you until the end. And I'm sorry about Olga.
no.
Donna,
I want to stay and talk to you more than anything. But we have to go.
We have a world to save that you weren't willing
you're
to
running
save.
out of time.
Adol, let's return to Saren Garden.
Adol, please come back to Octus once you receive the power. If you intend to stop the Lacrimosa, I'll explain what you need to do.
You will? That's a big help.
Yes. But for now, you must hurry to Saren Garden.
Okay. First, let's do a little shopping trip. I know the world is ending. Let's get some potions. No, I'm not interested in your quests.
Hello. There you go.
So I think a couple of those would be good, and then probably just one of
There you go.
those.
Please come again.
And we have a 100% map,
Yeah, let me see.
I think. No!
You didn't do much.
Oh, no. Okay, that is just rude. Didn't do much. I'm at 99.099%, so I think it's just... Oh, there's this center area of the tree that we haven't done. We're not going to show them the full map. I will make some armor, though, since I'm here.
How can I help you today?
Let's make...
Leave it
Perfect.
to me. All right.
We can make
finished.
one for Sahad,
Leave it
and
to
we
me.
can make one
All right.
for
Finished.
Loxia.
Is that it? What should I upgrade? I'll get started. Whew, it's complete. I'll get started. Whew, it's complete. I'll get started. Whew, it's complete.
Okay, and our main
Alright.
party has all their stuff leveled up. May as well give the pumpkin seeds to the kid. Or here. Oh, I will give him a Pickard. Yay, you caught a Pickard for me! Now it has to reload the entire village, but +1 Pickard this time.
Three square meals a day.
Food's ready.
Let's just make a bunch of food. Because it's a great way to
Alright,
heal, and it gives you all
perfect.
these bonuses.
Please, have some.
Because, like, attack and defense double up. Heal 2,500. That's pretty dang
Please,
good.
have some.
So. Alright. Saren Garden. Let's go.
Whoa, look at the tree.
Dang, that did get pretty big.
The tree of Psyches has grown so much. It's mesmerizing.
Wow! It's beautiful!
So what? So how does one go about receiving this power? Does Donna receive it?
No. The power of the Psyches conflicts with providence and natural law. It exists in direct opposition to the essence wielded by Eternians. Therefore, I would like to ask you, Adol, to receive the power.
So we're headed to the final boss, but not the secret boss.
Yeah.
We'll defeat the final boss, then we'll fight the secret final boss.
You can do it!
Now,
Because that's how this game
face
works.
the tree and raise your sword, the symbol of your strength.
Become the scion of the Psyche. As Adol held his sword, he felt a torrent of power surge into it. I like this theme. Oh yeah, we're gonna fight the secret boss. We have enough happy friendly points with the village to do it. So is Adol the sword becoming powerful? That's a good question. I guess it's Adol. I guess the sword is the conduit of his power, though. Mr. Tiltime. Mr. Tiltime.
So this has the power to stop the Lacrimosa? Yes. The psyches of species past, and their collective will to live. It seems to have worked.
What an incredible looking weapon. That's definitely not your average sword.
The preparations are complete then.
Yes. Let's return to Octus.
Her name's not Sarai, it's Aura. We've been over this. Donna, Adol. It seems you have received the power of the Psyches without issue. Sarai. So how do we stop the Lacrimosa? He must continue ahead to the selection sphere. With that sword, Adol should be able to cut open an entrance. Selection sphere. That's the best name you could come up with it. Wonder what's inside. The foundational power that fosters the evolution of all living beings on this planet. The providence of evolution itself. The providence of evolution. So if we interfere with the providence of evolution, the Lacrimosa will stop? Yes, but the providence of evolution is the natural law of the world itself. I do not know what will happen if you interfere with it. Does that mean the world will get destroyed? Well, there's no time to think about it. Dougie and the others can't defend the village much longer. We can do this! Gahaha! We've been honing our castaway spirit since we washed up on this island, so let's show them how far we've come. When it comes to survival, no one's more stubborn than us humans. Well, that's true. Let's never give up. Never surrender. Yes, that's how we've survived. Adol, everyone. You decided then. Thank you for everything, Sarai. Your thanks is not necessary. Now hurry on ahead. I can't tell you where you're going, but I will be praying for your success. It's interesting they keep talking about the providence of evolution, because we don't tend to think of evidence as having a providence in modern parlance. But the evolution that this game is talking about also isn't the kind of evolution we're talking about. It's the Lacrimosa, where it like deletes everything and starts over.
This is the selection sphere, where the providence of evolution dwells. Adol's sword can cut open an entrance. Yes. Go ahead, Adol.
Yeah.
You want to cut a little closer to the sphere? No?
Look at that.
Yay, Adol! I'm sure we'll win now that we have that sword.
The final battle lies ahead.
Yes. Into the breach, everyone.
No, that's a different game.
At last. Adol, we should... Oh, another one.
Come on, Adol! Hurry!
What did you see?
What's wrong?
Maybe she saw another Scarlet Vision. The ones that she can't stop that mean the doom of the world.
What in the holy hell is that?
Behold, the deific incarnation of evolution.
Is that a primordial? It's even bigger than the Okeanos!
That is the providence of evolution.
We've come this far. Might as well finish the job.
Imagine showing this to Charles Darwin and being like, look, the
Let's go,
providence of
Adol.
evolution is this giant monster thing.
Everything will be all right.
I seem to recall this thing being the secret boss, but... Kill all the things. Oh, I think Adol and his crew are very good at extermination. They should open up a business when they get back to town.
I'm sorry, but you won't stop us.
Get out of the way!
You won't stop us, mostly because I'm not even fighting you. I'm just running right past. Ooh, treasure chest. Always time for a treasure chest. The little green monster inside these shells looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters. Oh boy, a life elixir. It ups your HP by 1. Well, 100, but basically 1. Yep, stop.
Close. We've come this far, so we just have to do it.
Let's keep this up. Yes.
No, no, no. I'm not interested in you.
Forward!
You're not the providence of evolution. Okay, now I believe... Okay, we have 100%ed the map. We have found every treasure chest, every plant or rock that you can get materials from, and explored every nook and cranny. Go team. Time to fight the providence of evolution. Sup, nerd? I'm so bullheaded I'm gonna fight a giant dragon that is secretly the force of creation and destruction in the world. Who continually creates and destroys life. Ooh, he ugly. But you notice he has like parts that represent each of the different species we fought so far. Theos de Endogram, the providence of evolution. Yeet it into the sun.
At last, we meet.
I like how nonplussed the team is. They're just like, ah, bring it on.
Don't give up! Fight on until the very end!
Yeah! This is it. No use being scared, right?
Oh, I'm sure this won't be your last delivery. I'm sure we'll live. There's no consequences of destroying something that has God in its title as a semi-deific incarnation of a important force in the world, right? So this is an interesting concept that does, in fealty of the providence of evolution and by the grace of Lacrimosa, I hereby sign the death warrant of an entire species. Dang. Well, right now we work our way up. But this is actually a really common theme that shows up a lot in JRPGs is like fighting some sort of deity. You know, of course, Japanese culture has a very different concept and definition of what a deity is and can be because of Buddhism and Shintoism. Oh, shoot. But I talked about this when it came up a couple weeks ago, talking about, you know, fighting a deity in a game like this, how it represents sort of the indomitable will of humans are willing to take on any challenge collectively. JRPG Mission 1. Find the lost mail. JRPG Final Mission. Kill this deity. Possibly time travel. Oh yeah, we auto-heal between each section. That's really nice. Hey, Tipiku Anita. Good to see you. Get to have, oh yeah, you can change your party if you want. It's good getting to meet you in person.
Yes! We're closer to the head! Just a little more. We're going to
You join us just as we're fighting the final boss of VIII, who is the incarnation of evolution, but not the kind of evolution we know. No, don't make your crystals run away from me. I'm busy attacking them. Do you, Sahad, do you want to attack the thing? Maybe just a little. I'm gonna have a meal. Yeah, let's go with Great Pumpkin Pie. Get back here! There. There we go. Hold on a second, tentacle monster from beyond space and time. I need some pie. I should use that line at a meeting. I broke your heart. Now I'm gonna fight your other heart.
Crystal must be the core. Everyone, let's destroy the crystal.
Working on it, Donna. Oh, that's cheating. I can't fly out that far. Yeah. Wail on the dragon's head. Oh look, it's changed its weakness type. Generally, no. Ah, I still have a food effect. Oh, whoops, that's Sahad. I've had it up to here with these Cthulhian nightmares. Trying to control my destiny. Oh yes, I have to anime end it.
Let's go, Adol.
Let's go, Donna!
Don't mess with me, Evolution. I have the power of God and anime on my side. The power of God, anime, friendship, and the scud I found. Bang! Okay, the world didn't just immediately end, so that's a good sign. Hey! I think we stopped the Lacrimosa because the dinosaurs are disappearing.
I can barely move a muscle.
Me too. I'm so bushed.
It's quiet. What's happening on the outside?
Yes. Did we actually stop it? Huh?
Oh, that's a bad sign.
What's going on?
An earthquake?
Inside a tree?
Is everyone all right?
Sarai, what's happening?
The Lacrimosa has been thwarted.
Good
by
job,
the
team.
Island. The island is vanishing, and the world will soon vanish with it.
Oops, I think we did it too well.
No!
It's a HUD language.
Adol, was it a mistake for us to meddle with Providence?
No.
I know, but... everything is turning white.
This isn't over yet, Adol.
Yeah, now you're asking? A little late, but you know. Better late than never.
I won't let everything we've done amount to a mistake.
Lacrimosa of the distant sea. Finn. And they all lived happily ever after.
Are you awake, Adol?
How long do you intend to sleep? Dogi and the others have already begun to load the ship.
What happened to the Lacrimosa?
What on earth are you talking about? At any rate, we're
The-
preparing
the-
to
the
leave
end of the world
island
we
in a
just-
week's time. You should get up and start helping the others.
Is Donna here?
Donna? Who's that? None of the castaways go by that name.
What's going on?
Are you not feeling well? Perhaps you should continue to rest for today.
I guess I was dreaming. We Deus Ex Machina a little too hard.
A dream? Very well. I will excuse myself then. If you're feeling well, then please come help the others.
They are going to It Was All a Dream, seriously. Yeah, well, keep watching, keep watching. Not all changed his clothes. He noticed that Mistiltine, the Sword of Psyches, had reverted back to its original form. He noticed that the symbol on his arm was that marked him as a Warden of Evolution had vanished. We wrecked things so hard they never happened. Exactly what on earth is going on? Adol was beside himself with curiosity and hurriedly dressed himself. What outfit is he putting on? He was already in his red outfit. Epilogue. End of the Blue Waves. So this is where the 3 endings come in. So the worst ending is you wake up here and no one remembers Donna and Adol has like faint memories of her and you go sailing away. That's it. The middle one, you get all the same cutscenes that we're about to get, but not the boss fight. It was as Loxia said, preparations to leave the island had already begun. The castaways could barely contain their excitement, and the village felt livelier than ever before. Maybe I should see how Sahad and the others are doing. Wah wah. Yeah, if you get the worst ending, it's like really sad. Yo, licked.
Adol.
No, I don't care what you've learned. I want potions. Nope, can't make potions anymore. Hey, Ricotta. If you get sick while you're on the ship, tell me right away. I'll give you an herb that will help the nausea. Okay, how do you get sick on a ship? Right, this should be your first time. There's a lot of swaying. I read that in a book. When you're seasick, you can't walk straight. Oh, that's right. You already know. Haha, it sounds like fun. I can't wait to get seasick. Huh? When Sahad drinks and can't walk straight, he sings, dances, and has a great time. Being seasick must be like drinking, and I've always wanted to know what it's like. Oh, sweet innocent Rakota.
Yes.
Adol, it's unlike you to sleep in. Just for today, I agreed to transport goods without charging a fee. I'll transport anything that we need to get off this island, but it's strange. No, it must be some mistake. Kathleen, Grecian legend speak of a metal known as orichalcum. I gave you a ton! I thought maybe we'd find some on the Isle of Siren, but perhaps it's just a story after all. But it does exist. So you've heard of it? Still don't know if I can be found on this island.
Let's see.
Orichalcum is harder than diamond and completely rust-proof. If it does exist, I'd love the chance to work with it. If anyone has a chance of actually finding that stuff, it's you, Adol. I did find it! Are we not going to talk about the giant monkey and the bird? Also running slower. I'm running at the normal pace, not the magically enhanced pace. No, we will not acknowledge the monkey. Oh, we just started loading cargo. It hasn't been that long, but it really feels like we've lived as the castaway life forever. Still, I've got some good memories of the 6 of us exploring this crazy island. Did I say 6? I meant 5, not 6. Oh well, you want to take one last walk around before we shove off? Kinda doubt you'd find much appeal to an adventure, but you can soak up the sights. Seems like Sahad and the others don't remember anything at all. I wonder what happened at the Great Tree of Origins. Maybe I'll go look around the northern regions. I will travel to the only place I can. Nothing remained. No temple, no Great Tree of Origins. Just untamed wilderness, as if nothing had ever been here to begin with. Beams of sunshine peeked through the treetops, bathing Adol in their light. Yeah, if you get the worst ending, this part doesn't happen, and Adol's just like, well, back to the boat. You're here too, Adol? What are you guys doing here? It's hard to explain. It felt like something was calling out to me, so I left the village and came here. Surprisingly enough, I think that's the reason we're all here. Haha, yeah, I just felt like I had to come here. This is a strange coincidence. I'll say. Arr, I didn't expect to find you here too, Adol. Gotta get into my pirate voice. Is it a little red tree Donna? Oh, we'll see. Oh.
What is it?
Has this area always looked like this?
No, it feels different.
It does.
Feel different. But why?
Not sure. I sort of feel like something big used to be here, though.
Let's explore this area a bit more.
Adol met up with Loxia and the others. AKA, have your party back.
This place sure is pretty.
There's nothing here in particular, and yet...
Indeed, it's strange. There's nothing noteworthy about this place, so why does it feel so familiar?
Found Adol! Found red one!
Oh, hey, little Paro.
Hey, it's Peril.
Do you feel it too, Barrow?
How curious. He's not acting like his usual self.
Adol Kristen, I congratulate you and your friends on your achievement. Thank you for answering my call.
Those very complete sentences.
That's a new one. Who's he talking like now?
Huh?
The bird was Mother Gaia all along.
A woman?
Oh, this is hardly the strangest thing that's happened in this game.
What the hell just happened to Peril?
May your lost memories of the forgotten world be yours once again.
I really dig her design, especially like her hands.
Huh?
What the?
What's all this stuff I'm remembering all of a sudden?
What are all these emotions?
How could I have forgotten all this? The time we spent with Donald, our irreplaceable friend.
These memories have no cause to exist, but I have restored them nevertheless.
Restored? Who are you?
Earth goddess Maya.
I am Maya, the goddess who created the great tree of origins when the earth was newly born.
Why?
Goddess?
Maya. That name sounds familiar.
We did hear about her
The Lord
earlier.
Hydra mentioned her. Earth goddess Maya, creator of the great tree, and evolution along with it. But I heard that you vanished during Hydra's era.
What's a goddess doing here?
I was dreaming. I dreamed a never-ending tapestry of evolution throughout the eras. It was very comforting, but I've since awakened from that dream, and now that world has ceased to be.
You ever find a deific incarnation of a natural phenomenon so hard that you cause an even higher level deity to wake up from their nap? Because Adol has.
Huh?
What's that mean?
I dreamed every phenomenon that transpired in this land, including the lives of all species, and even the Lacrimosa itself. Thus, when I awaken, the dream must end.
My word.
So you're saying we're just fragments of your dream?
A dream that ended.
So wait, how are we in here
Did
now?
it end when we...
Yes. I was awakened when the source of evolution, Theos de Androgram, ceased to be.
Then we destroyed the world? But if that is indeed what happened, what is this world we're in right now?
It's a great question, Loxia.
This is a new world I have reconstructed due to your actions. The previous world no longer exists.
So I know that's a little Deus Ex Machina, but I actually kind of like it too, that it's like, your defiance had such a consequence that it literally destroyed the world. But also out of Maya's mercy, she's like, this world can keep going in a new way.
That Eternian girl who led you. She became aware that the world was a dream of mine. Through the act of awakening me, she stopped the Lacrimosa.
Donna did that?
Where is Donna?
At the moment when Theos de Androgram fell, Donna offered herself in exchange. In doing so, she relinquished her existence.
Relinquished her existence? Does that mean she disappeared?
Combining her own essence with the power of the psyches contained within Mistletoe, the effect of these two opposing forces caused Donna to sublimate into a higher concept of evolution. Thus, I was able to reconstruct the world from the verge of annihilation.
Donna really planned that far ahead?
No. She acted without any knowledge of the potential consequences of her actions.
But she gave something a... She was willing to sacrifice herself, thinking, without necessarily knowing the consequences, thinking it might help. I mean, that's a very noble act.
By her own hand, she performed an act of God. As recompense, her existence was forfeit. In the history of this new world, Donna never existed. She is only a concept now.
So that's why we forgot her.
You mean we can't see Donna anymore? Coda.
Damn it all! This ain't right!
She made the ultimate sacrifice to save you. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. I understand. If we are destined to part ways, I want to accept that destiny with a smile and be true to myself when I bid you all farewell.
This is not over yet.
Not over?
Adol Kristen, brave child of man. So you still intend to search for Donna?
Adol!
I did not expect such an unprecedented situation to occur.
I don't intend to search for her. I intend to find her.
The dream woven by you and Donna was rather wonderful. I reconstructed this world because I wish to dream of you again. If you intend to search for Donna, then I shall aid you.
What is that?
I have opened a way to the Abyss of Origins.
What does that mean?
If you wish to see Donna again, you must pass through it.
If Donna's really there, then you gotta take me with you, Adol.
We all just fall full of confusion and questions.
I haven't done my morning exercises yet. This might be a good substitute. I'll come along then.
You heard the goddess, Adol. Let's go see Donna again.
Oh yeah, I remember this dungeon. I don't remember the boss, because I thought the previous boss that we fought was the secret boss. Now the middle ending basically has an extra cutscene right there.
Abyss of Origins?
It's dark.
And you just kind of go back to the boat at that point, so you get some closure of what Donna has done.
There.
Should we head toward it?
So we can see Donna again.
Seems as good as anything else.
Stronger.
Ooh, that's not okay. Into the light. She had to dream all the creepies as well. That was a different dream, I think. I think we're transcending realities between the dreams. What are you?
What is this? You sure we can handle this thing?
I don't think we have a choice.
Hey, that looks like a primitive organism.
I can't target it, so I can't find out its name. I also can't do any direct damage. Any damage I do to things it summons hurt its overall health bar. Oh, time to heal Adol. And maybe the creepy things were her nightmares. use that. Since we're on the verge of getting burned. Yeah, this boss is even more of a gauntlet rush than the previous section, because at least the previous section had healing spots. Okay, we've freed this organism. Now what is it? Why does it have a giant insect tank? Origin of life, the source of all. Oh yeah, we're fighting the incarnation of the beginning of all life in order to save our friend. That makes sense. Because destroying evolution wasn't enough. True form, shrew form. I'ma smash it. Oh, I'm gonna take you down. Your pitiful attacks mean nothing to me because I have... Oh, you know what I didn't do? No, I did. Never mind. Because when you buy the armor, you can automatically equip it. I thought for a moment I had made the armor but hadn't actually equipped it to anyone. And we're still not even through a single health bar of it yet. Where are my friends? There they are. That's a pretty good hit. 5,000. And we've gotten through a full health bar now. Your shield means nothing to me. I'll smash it, too. Yes, you can summon a spirit bomb, but I can do that. And I can ride a bike with no handlebars. No handlebars. Looks like I'm bleeding. Yes. I only have one remedy. Go ahead and do that. And we'll stuff Adel's face full of mangoes. Oh, but the emotional climax of the story and all. Yeah, well, I mean, the VODs are there for a reason. And as to your father joke, one time when I was in college, I forgot to pay the electrical bill and my lights were turned off for a whole week. It was one of the darkest times of my life. Where is Adol? Did Adol get absorbed into this terrifying monstrosity? Is that it? You'll boo me on steps here, Patch. I didn't just live on campus, you know. Almost there. We're down to the third of its bottom health bar. I just want answers about my friend. Boom! We did it! We have defeated the secret boss. And we have 3 minutes before we go into overtime. So we might actually even finish this in the normal amount of time.
Huh? How do we end up here?
We're back where we started.
So you have returned.
What's going on? I thought you said we would see Donna again.
Did you pull a fast one on us?
As I stated earlier, Donna is a concept now.
I think we smoke a
She no longer
collective
exists.
cigar.
She is everywhere and nowhere.
Donna!
And now, she is here, the newest member of the Pantheon. Donna, the goddess of evolution.
Hey, she ascended.
Goddess?
Donna! 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 We finally found you, Donna. Ricotta? Luxia?
Why were you playing hide and seek with us?
I'm sorry. I don't think you can perceive me unless you've made contact with the origin of life.
Yeah, we beat that squiggly thing up. Beat it up, you were just supposed to meet it.
The Tribaldo family always pays their debts in full, but this might be too much for even me to repay.
Come on.
He's right. I don't know how I could ever repay you either. The whole Grecian region is safe now, thanks to you, Donna.
Sahad. Adol.
Thank you.
No. I was so desperate at the time. And the next thing I knew, I had become this. I'm sorry. I'm sure I made you worry.
In the beginning, the newborn world of my dream was stagnant and unchanging. Thus did I establish selection and rejection, and create a tree to foster evolution.
The great tree of origins.
Then Warden Hydra told us the same thing.
Yeah, but your way of...
Yes, the dream woven by the never-ending cycle of evolution was very wonderful. But constant change will inevitably give rise to anomalies. Adol and Donna, the circumstances that brought you together were one of these anomalies. But I did not expect it to tear open a seam in the world and bring about my awakening.
Don't underestimate us. What will you do now?
After this, I shall return to my eternal slumber. As long as I sleep and dream, the Lacrimosa will return one day. But in the future, the Lacrimosa will be entrusted to the goddess of evolution.
Donna?
But the Lacrimosa put Donna through so much pain. Won't it be tough for her to take care of it now?
Yes, in all honesty, I'm not confident in my ability to do so. But this time, I'm not alone. I will have help.
Hey, it's the Wardens.
Everyone, thank you for your help.
Sarai!
And the Wardens of Evolution.
Yes. By your actions, we have been freed from our duty as wardens. From now on, we will assist Donna in overseeing the evolutionary process.
I think we understand the people of this world better now. If we can act in accordance with the era and use the Lacrimosa properly, I think we can use evolution to make the world a far better place.
I don't know about all that, but I guess it's fine if you and Donna are handling the Lacrimosa now.
Yes. But never forget. Should this world rapidly fall into chaos, the Lacrimosa may come sooner than expected.
We will be keeping a watchful eye on this world. We cannot hesitate to come to its defense. Isn't that right, Goddess Donna?
Yes, that is the task we've been given by Earth Goddess Maya.
Guess we better not slack off then.
Yes, we must be resolute. We cannot disappoint Donna or the Wardens.
Yeah, but they're deified. You're still just human beings. Why is this on your shoulders?
You don't want to cause them any trouble.
Yep.
It is time, Donna. Time for me to sleep once again.
Yes. Adol, please allow me to keep my promise before we go.
Your promise?
Yes. I made a promise to you all. After we defeated the Okeanos, I saw in a vision that we would go our separate ways. So I wanted to say goodbye to you all on my own terms.
I remember.
Thank you. Adol, though you only came to know me after you arrived on this island, I've known you for a very long time, when I was all alone in this world, in the midst of despair. Seeing how you and your friends lived gave me the strength to go on. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me that strength. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for accepting me as your friend. And finally, thank you from the bottom of my heart for finding me.
I won't forget.
I'll never forget you either, Adol. I'm glad I finally got to keep this promise.
Donna.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
My friends, I know how sad this is, but we really must part now. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, thank you, Donna. One week later.
The weather's nice and the water's calm. We should be able to leave the Isle of Seiren without any problems. I don't think we'll have any issues making it to Sunyan Port either.
I never thought this day would come. For as long as I was a castaway here,
My time here felt remarkably short. Well, you've been here longer than any of us. It's probably just starting to sink in now. True. But now I can return to my true calling as an explorer. Since
1
this
week later,
really is the
Adel is
end,
shipwrecked.
I think I'll take one last walk on the island. You be careful now. We'll be ready to depart once Dogi finishes checking the cargo. I think that might take him a while, though. If there's something you need to finish, or something you forgot, best take care of it now, Adel.
Okay, if you want to do any of the last side quests.
Adel. Yeah.
All right, let's depart. Oh, are you ready to go? Yeah. All right, I'll get started on boarding the other castaways first.
All right, Adol. We're just waiting on you guys to board.
Guess we should start boarding.
Tally-ho!
Something wrong, Laxia?
After everything that's happened on this island, I suppose I thought if I finally did manage to leave, that I would be happier.
I sort of know how you feel. I'll never forget the things what happened here. I'll always treasure the time I spent here with you guys.
I won't forget either.
As a transporter, my time here was well spent.
Fate may have brought us all together, but the reason we're standing here today is because of Donna's guidance and your leadership, Adol. So, thank you.
I got to see my father again because of you, Adol.
And you're the reason I was able to complete my delivery.
Knowing you, I bet you're already planning your next big adventure. But I do hope we meet again someday, wherever that happens to be. I assure you, when the time comes, you will meet a far more competent Laxia von Roswell.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do my utmost. Thank you for everything.
All right, anchors away. Time to set sail.
It's quite the denouement. He returned to the Roman Empire, where he quietly resumed his work as a transporter for the criminal underworld. Over the course of his work, he met the daughter of a wealthy noble who would eventually propose marriage to him. But he declined her offer and continued to work as a transporter, also managing the orphanage where he spent his childhood. Urquhart Beldine. After escaping the Isle of Siren, she traveled to the world with her father, Thanatos Beldine. A peace treaty was finally signed between the Roman Empire and the Kingdom of Altago, and the seas became safe again. Soon after, Akata and her father traveled to Central Africa, known as the Dark Continent, but their current whereabouts are unknown. Sahad Nautilus returned to his homeland Crete, where he reunited with his beloved wife and daughter. Though the details are scarce, it is said that he lived the rest of his days in peace. However, tales eventually spread about the large, boisterous fisherman who helped his fellow castaways on the Isle of Siren. I could also see Saha just being like, okay, I want to go back to being a fisherman. Laxia von Roswell. While studying abroad at Glia Academy, she reunited with her father. Soon after, she became extensively researching primordials and devoting herself to restoring her noble house. Garnering wide acclaim for both her public at large and noble houses, she became known as one of the leading experts on primordials. Good for her. Adult Christian. Parted ways with the other castaways after docking in Greek. His current whereabouts are unknown. Based on fragments of available information, he stayed in Greek for a time before eventually traveling west. Nearly 100 travelogues, each chronicling his adventures, have been discovered in his childhood home. Their full contents have yet to be discovered. And a little anime to cap it all off. We did it! So that is Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. It's not a perfect game by any means. It's a little long. But I enjoy it. The combat flows well. I do like the characters. I think there's some really fun growth in the characters. And it plays... It has a special soft spot in my heart because of when I played it. As it was like the lockdown of COVID, so, you know, it's basically all I could do. And I also like it because the plot really does go off the rails. Like, basically halfway through Act 5, it's just like, we're gonna go so weird and unexpected. Yeah, it was... I like that Hummel's voice actor, Ken! Full caps. Yeah, I just like that it just kind of goes off the rails, and just when you think it can't get any weirder, it gets weirder, and then it's like you're fighting the deific incarnation of evolution, but actually not what we would know as evolution anyway. But yeah, so that was that. I'm not gonna show you the full credits because we're a little over time. Not too bad though, honestly. But thank you to everyone for tuning in to let us play, watching through Ys 8 over these many months. It's been fun. Join us again tomorrow for more Retro Tuesday with Freddy Fish and the Case of the Missing Kelp Seeds. Some of our just fun retro chill for December. Thursday, more Adam's Venture. Hopefully going to complete that. And then next Monday, the next RPG we're going to dive into, we're returning to Kingdom Hearts. We're doing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Going to keep going down the rabbit hole of that series, so that should be a lot of fun. Look forward to that. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's liked and subscribed, followed, commented, all that good jazz. Go check out the Discord if you haven't already, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Take care, and God bless.